What's up, guys? Buddy's Off-Road here. So today I'm going to be doing an installation video, and then later on I'll do a review video. But just for now I'm going to be doing an installation video on the Lensun Solar hood solar panel. They were nice enough to send me the full kit for this, which I'll show you what the full kit entails. But this is the solar panel here. It's a flexible solar panel that goes on your hood. It's made specifically for your car. If you've got a Jeep, a Toyota, Ford, Lexus, lots of different cars. I mean, if you bought any car that you would off-road in or look for one of these in, they make one for it. So check them out. I'll have the link in the description. But this one is specifically made for the 4th and 5th gen 4Runner. I have a 4th gen 4Runner here. It's my 2007. I live in this vehicle part-time while traveling the country for work, and I also just enjoy camping and off-roading in it. And power is everything when I'm out there, especially when I'm working. I got to be able to run my computer. If it's the summer, some of these places I go get pretty hot, so I need to be able to run an air conditioner with my batteries. So I really need power, and this will really help me out a lot. They were nice enough to send me the full kit. So I've got the solar panel here, and this is a vinyl decal. It's a bit curled up, but that's just the paper under. It's not the decal. It'll go on smooth and flat. So this is a decal that goes under the solar panel. You don't have to use this, but I would rather use it because I don't want to damage the paint on my hood. I don't want to stick this directly to the paint on my hood. So this will go on your hood, doesn't damage your paint. And then this sticks to this using some, they recommend, which I would recommend this stuff too. It's very strong and sticky. I got 2 rolls here, 15 feet each of 1-inch 3M VHB tape. This stuff works really well, super sticky, it shouldn't go anywhere. So I'm gonna have this all on the edges, and then just using the rest of it, just fill in what I can on the bottom of this solar panel to stick it to this. And I'll show you how to do all this in the video. And it also includes, this is their Lensun Solar MPPT solar controller here. MPPT is great. It's so much better than PWM. PWM can only charge to about 80%. MPPT is a much smarter controller. It can get you to 100% on your battery, which is important. There's a big difference between 80 and 100 when you really need it. So first thing, I'm going to install the decal here, and I'll show you how we're going to do that. You're going to need a spray bottle full of a soapy water mixture. I just mixed some dish soap and some water, just a little bit of dish soap, mostly water, and you're going to want to liberally spray this all over the hood and all over the decal. It allows you to move the decal into the right place, and then you can stick it down when it's time, but that way it doesn't just stick as soon as you go to put it down. And it comes with this little squeegee here, so we can push all that out from under the decal so it'll be good and stuck to your hood. So I'll show you how to do that next. Alright guys, so I'm going to work on the vinyl decal now. First you want to make sure you prep your hood, make sure it's very clean, nothing on it. You can do it however you want. I would use some alcohol last, just some rubbing alcohol to get all the contaminants off the paint. I went ahead and polished the hood just to make sure there was nothing on it. You could clay bar it if you want, but I do take pretty good care of it, so my paint's pretty clean. But I polished it, and then to make sure I got all that polishing compound off, I used some rubbing alcohol, so it's very smooth on here, so this decal should stick pretty good. You can use some masking tape to line the decal up if you want to. It's not going to be very hard for me to line it up because it has to butt up against these 2 washer nozzles here, so it'll help me space it. Plus these lines in the hood will help me get it in the right spot. So I'm just going to spray the hood liberally. I'm going to soak the hood with this, just the area where it's going to go on, with this soapy water mixture. This is just an old spray bottle I made it in. And then when I peel the backing off the decal, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to spray it all over the backing, and then we're going to squeegee it out. So I'll show you how that's done. So more of this is better than less because you don't want to stick this decal down and not be able to move it once it hits the hood. Alright, that should be good there. And then you got to look at your decal, make sure you got it the right way. It's going to be shaped like the solar panel. So you want to carefully peel that backing off without damaging the panel. damaging the decal. Alright, so I know you can't see it over here, but I've got the backing off. I'm going to just hold it out here, and I'm going to spray the back of it the best that I can. Maybe might be easier to just make sure the hood's got a lot on it, because this is a pretty big decal, than it is to spray it on the back. So we're just going to spray the hood again. I'll spray the back a little bit, but really make sure we got it, because this will dry up. Last thing you want is to stick this thing down on the hood and it just sticks where you put it right away. So, see how I'm able to just slide it around? That's exactly what we want, so I can line it up. So I'm buttoning it up against those washer nozzles like I mentioned on mine. You can do it however you want it, but that's how I want it to be. I think it looks the best that way. And it's looking pretty good. I'm just going to measure here and make sure we got about the same amount on both sides, because I'm pretty particular about things. Looks pretty good to me. Looks pretty good and lined up. So I'm going to start, because I don't want it to move at the top. I'm going to start up here at the top. You want to start from the center and move it out. Move the stuff out, the soapy water mixture out from under it. Make sure it's still looking good as you're coming down. Still looking good here. Might take a little bit before it sticks, because there is a lot of soapy water mixture under here, but that's what you want, because it allowed me to still move it. Like I said, the last thing you want is for it to stick as soon as you hit the hood and you mess the decal up. Because once this thing's stuck, you can get it off, but like one time, you're not going to be able to do it again. You can get it off if you ever wanted to take it off, but once you take it off, it's off. So it's looking pretty good. I don't have any bubbles at all. Now I'm just squeegeeing out more of that mixture, because you want to get it all out from under there. So just put a decent amount of pressure on it. The squeegee has a soft side, a little felt side, so it won't mess your decal up. Plus most of this decal is going to be under that thing anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video here. It just takes a little bit to squeegee it and get all the stuff out. But I think you get the point, and I'll show you the finished product before I stick the solar panel on. Alright guys, so as you can see, the vinyl decal's on. I went ahead and cleaned it with some rubbing alcohol also, because I don't want any of that soapy water mixture affecting the stickiness of that 3M VHB tape that's going to hold the panel on. But I got it on there. I've done one little piece of vinyl on this car before. There's a piece of clear vinyl up where my roof rack is, just a small strip to protect the roof, but that's all the vinyl work I've ever done. You know, I don't vinyl wrap cars or anything, and this went on perfectly. I don't have any bubbles, no creases. It wasn't very hard. Just make sure you use a lot of that soapy water mixture so it can slide everywhere. Just keep working it all out. It may look like it's not sticking at first, but just keep squeegeeing it out. And then once you get near the end, dry it off with a towel, and then just keep squeegeeing it out more, and eventually it'll stick. So it's stuck, looks perfect. It's on there good. The edges are good and stuck. Looks like a professional did it. So now I'm going to grab the solar panel, and I'll show you how that's going to work out. So solar panel, it's going to go like this on the hood, just right there on top of it. I'm going to take this off the hood and put some of that 3M tape all over the bottom of this thing. We really want to focus on the edges, and then I'm going to put a couple strips down here, and then whatever extra I have left, I'm just going to use it up. Might as well make it as sticky as I can so it doesn't move. So I'm going to put 3M tape all over the bottom, then I'm going to use some masking tape on one end to line this up where I want it to be at. I'll fold it back, probably fold it up onto the glass there so it's easier. I'm going to peel all that tape off, all the backing off the tape, and then lay it down. But I want to make sure I take some time lining it up because that stuff's extremely sticky. You can get it off, but you'd probably mess your vinyl up when you get it off, so it's kind of a one-time thing taking it off. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to put that tape on next. Alright guys, so I went ahead and cleaned the back of this with some rubbing alcohol as well. I use that stuff a lot. It really does help though. It gets all the handles off, any contaminants, so stuff really sticks a lot better when you do that. You don't want this to come off while you're driving, so you really want it to be stuck on there good. So here I got those 2 rolls of 3M VHB tape. It's pretty expensive if you go to the store. I'd order it online. I ordered it on Amazon. It's about 15 bucks a roll, so it's still not super cheap, but this stuff really works and it should hold it on there forever. You could probably use some other type of adhesive if you wanted it to, but this makes it easy, doesn't make a mess. This stuff works well, I'd use it. So when I put this on the hood, I'm also gonna silicone the edges. Again, that'll just be touching that vinyl decal. It won't be on my hood. I don't want water to get under it. So I'm gonna leave maybe 1/4 of an inch or so around the edges. I'm not gonna go to the very edge so that silicone can get under there just a little bit. And we're just gonna go all the way around the edges here. This stuff can be hard to cut, so I'm using a razor blade to cut it. Also with these flexible solar panels, you don't want to push too hard unless, like when it's on the car hood, I'll be able to push on it good, but you don't want to push too hard when it's being elevated by this little thing up here in the front. You don't want to push on the middle. You can crack little cells inside of them, and it shouldn't break the solar panel, but it will make it not as effective. Now, if all the cells aren't working, it's not going to be as effective, so just be careful with that. I'll push this tape on better. I'm just running it around for now. Got that. I wanted to tape to overlap. I had a little overlap, so I cut it. Stick that piece right there. You don't want it to overlap and push up somewhere. You want it to all lay nice and flat on the same level. Alright, so I think you guys get the point. I'll show you the finished product. This stuff's pretty easy to put on. Just run it all the way around. And then I'm just going to do some lines like this. I may even do, since I have so much extra, I think I might do 2. I might just do another line on the inside of this line, and then I'm going to do the inside. More is better than less. I would recommend buying 2 rolls. So I'll show you the finished product when I'm done with this tape here. Alright guys, so here's the finished product with this tape. This is the front here, so I went a little bit heavy on the front. I got all these extra strips on the front because if it was going to lift up anywhere, it's going to be the front. That's where the wind would catch it. But with all this tape on here, there's no way this is going anywhere. If you've ever used this 3M tape before, this stuff sticks like crazy. This is not going to go anywhere with all this tape. So next, I'm going to show you how I'm going to line it up on the hood and how I'm going to go about getting this off and sticking it on there in the right spot. Alright guys, so I got some masking tape at the top. I lined it up, measured everything out, got it where I want it to be. So the idea here, I'm going to flip this back onto the glass. I'm going to take all the backing off this tape and then pull it forward, and hopefully it'll be in the same spot when I pull it back down with all the tape on it, because that stuff's really sticky. So I'll show you how that goes after I get all the tape off. Alright guys, so I got it flipped back like I mentioned with the tape still attached to it. I took all that red backing off, so now it's time to stick it down. This is kind of the scary part, because I really want to make sure I get it perfect. It'll bother me if it's not perfect, so I gotta flip this thing forward and try to get it lined up on there just right without it sticking down before it's right. So we're gonna just tilt it forward. We'll reach up under there, pull it forward, make sure we're looking good. Top looks pretty good. So if you don't really stick it down, you can kind of pull it up. But you don't want to do that too many times. Looks pretty good up there. Got measuring tape here. See if we got these about the same. 2.5 there. See if we can. Excuse me. So, a little over 2.5. A little over 2.5. So, that's how we want that to be. Top looks pretty straight, so I think we're good right here. Make sure the front is looking good. Front looks good, so now I'm going to stick it down. So you definitely don't want to do this in cold weather, and it's not cold today. It's a nice North Carolina spring day. Peel that tape off. I'm gonna grab a towel here. Make it a little easier to slide my hands around. Alright, so what I'm going to do next, stick it on here pretty good. I'm happy with it. I'm going to roll it out into the sun and just let it heat up for a little bit. It'll make it a little bit more flexible so I can stick it on there even better, just keep pressing on it. But as you can see, it's already flexing to the hood. These things look pretty cool. I'm looking forward to using it. So I'll be back in just a few minutes after I get this thing out in the sun and work on it out there. Alright guys, so I moved it out into the sun to get the solar panel to heat up and the tape to heat up so it'd stick a little better, and that completely solved the problem. Everything's good now. I wasn't really a problem before, but you know, it's got a flex to the car and it's initially flat when you get it, so it was just wanting to come up a little bit, but as soon as I got it hot in the sun, now it's all good. So it should end up eventually just kind of molding to your car and staying that way, but now it's sticking perfectly. So it'll be parked outside, it'll get more sun, it'll be great. Next, I'm going to put some silicone all the way around the edges to keep water from getting under it. I don't want any water to get under there. This is kind of an optional step, but I would recommend it. So I'm gonna go all the way around, just put a little bead around the edges, and I'll show you when it's done. All right, guys, so I got it on. I got a nice bead of silicone around it. It's still drying, but that'll be okay. It'll dry. So the next step is to route it under the hood and hook up your solar controller. So got that wire up there on the front of the solar panel. Pop the hood. And then I'm gonna do it a little bit later, but I have some little zip tie things, little 3M adhesive zip tie things that stick on that will hold this under the hood. So I just like good cable management. It bothers me if it's all over the place. So that, you want to take that under the hood, and then I'm not sure where I'm going to mount this yet. I got a lot of stuff under here. I got a big battery and an air compressor. So all you have to do with this is you have these two plugs on here. You just match them up with these two plugs on the solar controller. Just plug them in. And then there's a positive and a negative ring terminal on here. If you're going to use this with your starter battery, just hook up the positive and the negative to the positive and the negative on your battery, and you're done. If you want a DC load, like to run something off of this, there is a couple wires coming out of here. You can run this to whatever you want to run it to. If you want to charge something, run your fridge, anything like that, you can run it out of these two wires right here. That's really about it as far as installation goes. It's pretty simple. There is an app for this. It'll show you how to get to it in your instruction manual, exactly how to get to the app. So as far as my installation, I mean, that was pretty easy. Even while doing the video, it took me about an hour and a half. I probably could have done it in 45 minutes if I wasn't stopping and recording stuff like that. But I love making these videos, and I really appreciate Lensun sending me this to do this video. I will make a update video after I get to test it out, but I'm sure it's going to work great. It's really good quality. I think it looks pretty cool on the hood. I'm really impressed with it, and I appreciate Lensun a lot. So if y'all don't mind, just like, share, and subscribe. It means a lot to me. It really does help me out. Thank you, guys.